All right, guys, so as you guys are well aware by now, one of the biggest reasons I want to do this is because of the addition to the program with assessments and correctives. And I want you guys to fully understand what this truly means and physiologically what it means to everybody and what the hell I'm really talking about. So just bear with me because my drawing skills are not up to par. But basically what we'll talk about is muscular imbalance number one, what we call number one. It's a very common thing, upper cross syndrome. So basically all it means is you ever see people with rounded shoulders and they're kind of craned neck where their neck is kind of forward. And it doesn't have to be exaggerated or it doesn't have to be like a hunchback or Notre Dame type deal. Just slightly, that kind of throws off the whole chain, the whole kinetic chain to a degree. But, so what we're going to talk about, and again, this is I want to say this is an oversimplified version. This goes a lot deeper than this, but for the sake of, not getting too deep into it, I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. So in red here, I have what we call phasic muscles. And basically, these are muscles that need, they are overly weak and they're just not doing their job because of different purposes, different things. But basically, you have, from a side view, you have your deep neck flexors, and then you have your thoracic extensors, stuff is behind you. This is the stuff that, with people with upper cross syndrome, is weak. And it just isn't firing right, it just isn't working right. On the opposite side of the spectrum, and understand that these two are, they're very related. You have your tonic muscles, or your muscles that need to be stretched. These things are overly tight. These are the neck extensors, and basically all the pectoral muscles, but specifically pec minor. So that's what facilitates people. These muscles that are really tight, that's what pulls everybody here, and then the stuff that's weak isn't able to do its job. And it's weak because it isn't being used properly. Or it's weak because of the fact that the other ones are tight. So what happens is when we're in the gym, and these people with upper cross syndrome, this is what, when you get deep into this, they should not be doing certain exercises. Because all that happens is certain things are going to further facilitate them down that road of impairment. They're basically banged up. So people with this shouldn't be benching as much or any type of horizontal push. And if they do, all that's going to happen is they're going to make this tight, and they're going to make this even tighter. And what's happening is they're neglecting the stuff that needs to be isolated. At first, you need to isolate these and make these and strengthen them just with isolation exercises, but we'll get deeper into that later. So, again, they shouldn't be pressing in any way, and also sometimes their rowing motions, they have to round their back. They can't, us as coaches cue them, but their bodies physically cannot get there. So it frustrates us, and we may tell them, fuck this, they ain't even gonna do that. But you have to understand, look deeper, it's just their bodies can't get there, because there's certain muscles, postural muscles, that need to hold them back, and they basically just can't get there. So this is upper cross syndrome number one, which is, there's really two. There's lower cross syndrome also, and they're very much related also. But in future video, expanding upon this, I'm gonna show you what specific stretches you need to do, and specifically what isolation exercises you need to do to strengthen the stuff that needs to be strengthened and stretch the stuff that needs to be stretched. The stuff that needs to be stretched, there's a sense of your nervous system is posturally holding them muscles there. Like it doesn't, think about most people are tightening their hamstrings. When you stretch that hamstring, it can only go so far, and then it hurts. That's your body's way of telling you that the tissue can only expand so far, so it's holding it in that pattern. One of the best things to do for this is later on I'm going to make a deadlift video, and why I truly believe that the deadlift is like the king of all lifts, and what that does to the entire body from a systemic effect, and how that can help this. But again, this is just upper cross syndrome number one. We're going to expand upon this later. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below, and I'll be sure to answer them for you.